Hello, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Just What, where I am playing Final Fantasy XIV. Last episode we did, we started, in any case, explained my entire situation of everything that happened in between episodes. And we also started doing, I made some pretty decent progress on the minor quest line. And we're going to continue. Have you heard, Lynn? The latest tally had you tied with White Gully as the guild's highest earner. You started as a novice with a rusty pickaxe, now you're one of our stoutest pillars. You've truly come a long way, my friend. I find myself turning to you more often for difficult orders, the bulk of which have been coming from Deep Canyon. As you should well know from the past expeditions, these tend to entail going to dangerous locales. I'm loath to put my people in harm's way, but the concern owns us. In truth, if not in name. It'd be ill done to refuse their requests, no matter how onerous. But, just this once, I've a mind to do just that. I can't in good conscience order you to a wild place like Curthus merely for the sake of 20 pieces of jade. Aye, that's what Deep Canyon is requesting this time, and I have to send someone. You've rightly proven yourself the best candidate. But you should understand how risky the endeavor. Think long and hard before you do something we both regret. While you're mulling it over, though, I should let you know that White Gully wanted a word. You'll find him in the usual place. I take it you've heard about the job, and I can tell from the look in your eyes that you're already on board with giving it a go. When you came back with the amethyst that last time, I came to realize something. A true miner must be prepared to risk life and limb for his prize. Mining for jade at no less a place than Halder's March in Curthus would be the perfect way to put my conviction to the proof. I challenge you to another contest. The first to find 20 pieces of jade and deliver them to Adalberta is a winner. Superior miner by all objective measure. What the fuck? Bruh. I really wish that I still had jade in my inventory. That would be so fucking funny. I did actually gather quite a lot of jade. Don't even remember what I did with this. Well, I probably just sold them. Because they're not particularly super useful in crafting. Alright. As you can see, we've reached a point where I do not get a where I don't really get a 60% on my gatherer's boon. Yeah. Alright, let me go and do one of these. This way I can just get a lot of them. There we go. Let's see if the boy is faster or not. Somehow, I don't think so. Since I literally just teleported away, went to one node. Oh well, 2 nodes and just got it. Don't even need to sprint. I can just casually walk over there while I fall asleep. Sure, it's boring around here. I understand why Gully has challenged you yet again. I know the temptation is to seek out victory whatever the cost, but winning isn't everything. You do what's right for you, Lynn. Oh, this is right for me, trust me. By the 12, this is the jade, and such fine samples too. Congratulations are in order. You've won the contest. By default, that is. White Gully never got his 20 pieces, you see. As he went about his work, he lowered his guard and was attacked by a fell fiend. His wounds were such that it was all he could do to run to safety. His whole body, if somewhat worse for wear, is like to be out of action for a while. But that's not the worst of it. The more the wounds you can see, I worry. Wait, what? More than the wounds you can. Fucking hell. Anyway, more than the wounds you can see. I worry for his state of mind. He saw as a rival to surpass, but he ended up losing in a contest he himself devised. That kind of disappointment is enough to break most people. Trust me, I know. But I pray that White Gully has the strength to get back on his feet and take up the pickaxe once more. It'd be a shame to lose one so gifted. Let's return to the matter before us, though. I wasn't exaggerating about the quality of this jade. Its purity and strength allows you to see why it's thought of as the embodiment of immortality. Since ancient times, man has chosen to adorn his tools and guards with it, imbuing himself with the everlasting. With the everlasting is certainly an attractive notion. And no one is more aware of that tradition than White Gully. It's for that very reason I intend to create for him a gift of jade. The stone bears my hope that he will rise again, no matter how often the spinner might see fit to test him and bring him to his knees. Holy fuck. I turned my electric heating unit a little bit too far. It's really warm now. Lynn, I was hoping you'd come by. I need your help with something. It concerns White Gully. He's recovered from the wounds suffered in Curthus and resumed his mining for the guild. Wonderful news, to be sure. But one thing yet troubles me. You see, White Gully has been taxed on has been taking on far more tasks than a single man should. Some attribute his newfound fervor to the sting of losing that ill-conceived jade contest, but I suspect there's more to the tale. I've had to broach the subject with him, but he's as stubborn as an aurochs, insisting it's not by imagination. But I know there's something, and where I've failed, you might succeed. Strange though this may sound, you're the closest thing he has to a friend here. So I beg you, Lynn, speak with White Gully and try to learn what ails him. Do what you can to ease his burdens. And that little bird I sent you. She's been on me something fierce since I came back. But it doesn't matter why you're here or at Wood's request. The simple truth is I need your help. I've got a secret that would be sure to bring great shame on my family, but I need to tell someone, and I know that you're an honest sort. Ledgers at the concern have been tampered with, and I'm being credited for work I didn't do. Wasn't keen on believing it, but the culprit is my own father. I first suspected something was off when I received my last evaluation. I know better than anyone what I do around here, and I knew I wasn't working that much. I looked over the concern's records of its dealings with the guild, and sure as day, found some right damning evidence. Didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I never wanted it said that I had a leg up in the guild because I'm the vice foreman's son. If I was to succeed, I wanted to do it by my own hands. Learning that my old man was falsifying my accomplishments was like a punch to the gut. And that's why I've been working so feverishly of late. By fulfilling enough orders, I'm hoping to turn my father's lies into truths. But I've taken on more jobs than I've got hands to juggle them with. So, like I said, Venture, I need your help. I'd say I'm swallowing my pride here. My pride to ask you this, but I've got no pride left. Whatever happens from here on out, I'm a miner first and foremost, and I just want to do my job. Right now, the order's given me the biggest headache. The order giving me the biggest headache is one for 20 chunks of electrum ore. You can find the stuff south of Camp Bronze Lake up in over in Upper Lanoche. Please hurry, and thanks. I already have a lot of these. Couldn't have mined better ore myself. You have done me a great kindness. Gratitude rolls squarely off my lips, does it? Mayhap that's something that comes more natural with time. It was only my pride that held it back before, and as I said, I've none of that left. I have to work harder than ever now to make my fictionalized accomplishments more than just ink on parchment. As of now, I'm a fraud, plain and simple. Not unlike this electrum, really. Just impure stuff, gold mixed up with silver and other metals. Bah, what am I saying? That comparison ain't fair to electrum. At least this alloy's worth something. You see, when refined, electrum takes on an opulent whitism hue, not seen in other metals. And there are certain things that can't be made without it. So it's prized by crafters. No, if I'm to liken myself to any metal, it'd have to be common brass. Stuff's pretty enough to look at when polished, but worth little and less. Gah, I dreamed of being special, a one-of-a-kind type of miner, everyone respected, but now I just... Enough of this brooding. I hate myself as it is. No need to add being a whiny sob to my list of failings. You set my height today, Lynn, and I'll find a way to repay the debt. Mark my words. And there's the level 50 thing. I actually get these things, huh? I never knew about that. Actually kind of sad though, because I do like these things. Actually, I don't get the chest piece. I get everything but the chest piece. That's a little bit annoying. Then thank the gods you're here. It's White Gully. He's gone and filed a complaint against his father to the concern, citing an abuse of power. It has forced Deep Canyon into a difficult position, to say the least. And the two of And though the two of us haven't exactly seen eye to eye of late, I still owe the man a great debt. I would go to him and offer what aid I could, but he's like to spurn even the attempt. I know full well how much I've already asked of you, but I would be eternally grateful if you'd land Deep Canyon aid in my stead. To get started, it might be best to see what possessed his son to inform us on his own flesh and blood. Here the guild has bidden again. Well, I see no reason not to tell you about the situation. You know most everything, any road. My old man was forced to in dangerous jobs in the guild, forcing its members to risk life and limb for his own agenda. If that ain't the very definition of abuse, I don't know what is. You yourself were on the receiving end of this, I'm sure you recall. Kid or no, I couldn't stand by and watch my guildmates being used like pawns in his game. So I went to the concerns upper management and filed a complaint. He hasn't said a word to me since, but I'd have a guess that he might be willing to speak with you. You've certainly done your fair share for the guild. He's out by the entrance right now, in case you want to hear his side of the story. Fuck man, I'm so tired. I could just hear people saying, then go to sleep. Take a nap. It's been some time, Lynn. Your dad is here as regards my son's accusation. Well, it's just as he claims. Now, this ain't gonna spare me what's coming, but I had a reason for my actions. Vengeance. I was supposed to become master of the Miners Guild. Everyone knew I had the best claim. But Alberto robbed me of the honor. Me, the man who taught her nigh everything she knows about her trade. She went behind my back and conspired with her predecessors, and then fancy who ended up being chosen to lead. By way of payback. Ever since I became the vice foreman, I've striven to make Alberto's life harder than trying to mine with a dull pickaxe. All those outrageous demands to make her look incompetent. At the same time, I went about ensuring my son was well placed to take over as guildmaster, and my plan was about to bear fruit too. Till you came along and ruined it all by being my son's better. For your expression, I take it you're doubtful of the tale. Well, you need only ask your dear guildmaster. She can vouch for everything I've said. What, Deep Canyon believes I cheated him out of becoming guildmaster? That's not it at all. I never aspired to this position. Gods, I was only an Alamegan refugee working as hard as I could to get by. I never even dreamed that I could rise as I did. And I suspected even less that it was that self-same dedication to my work that would lead to me being chosen. If I had known that accepting the mantle would tear us apart. Lamenting the past won't avail us. I only know that I wouldn't be where I am without the man. I can't allow this misunderstanding to cost Deep Canyon everything. I simply couldn't bear it. I'm not sure there's aught we can still do for him. At this point, but we must try. Listen, White Gully is the one who filed the complaint. If you were to throw your weight behind some of my concerns, then maybe he could yet do something. Please, Sin, it would mean so much. Alberto wants to help my old man. Truth be told, it ain't my wish to see his career destroyed neither. I only wanted to teach him a lesson. Make him know that he can't just use people for his own ends. But now that the concern knows, it's been taken out of my hands. In their eyes, Jesus. My father's actions jeopardized relations with the Miners Guild, and nothing could be worse. So they've given him a test. If he's to remain vice foreman, he must prove at the inquest that he still has the confidence of the guild. And they ain't interested in no words. They want hard evidence. That is to say, they're demanding that someone from the guild shown him loyalty by going and digging up 3 of the toughest damn chunks of ore there is to find. Dark steel. Problem is, he's got no allies in the guild on account of his behavior. I certainly don't qualify for the task being his son, and Alberta can't do it neither, because she's the bleeding guild master. That's how it works. This leaves you, Lynn. Don't have much time for the inquest before the inquest begins, so you'll have to hurry. And I wasn't exaggerating. For Darksteel's is elusive as hell, located in the snowy reaches of Curthus and nowhere else. To actually find stuff, you'll need to use your Truth of the Mountains technique to locate unspoiled mineral deposits. Then, in God knows why, you'll have to survive a night in the cold for the deposits to reveal themselves. Finally, you dig up and pray. Okay. When you have enough chunks of Darksteel ore, take them to Alberta. I'll make sure she knows what's going on. So, use a technique to advance to locate Darksteel ore that appears in Curse's Central Highlands at 1 AM Eorzea time. Mine the required quantity and return to Alberta. So, I think I'm just going to take a nap now. I'm gonna be back in like a minute in, the video. Okay, I'm back. I recorded the part where I got the thing because it was based on time and I got interrupted in the middle of it, so... In any case, 1 AM in the evening in Central Curthus, as long as you have Truth for the Mountains up, you should be able to see it. And then you should be able to gather it. We got 30 pieces from that, which is pretty freaking decent. NGL. Ugh. Cold. White Gully told me all about the situation. Be sure you bring in the Darksteel ore as soon as you've got it. Now, I feel this bears mentioning, but regarding how to go about obtaining the ore may sound ridiculous, but it's exactly as White Gully says. You need endurance to survive a night in Curthus, and a technique, Truth of the Mountains, to locate unspoiled mineral deposits. 12 speed your way. Incredible, Lynn. Your talents are truly boundless. Hopefully, these will suffice to spare Deep Canyon. But let's make haste to the inquest. White Gully is already on his way. Well, did you get a guild member to bring your Darksteel ore? Or to bring you Darksteel ore? Because make no mistake, Deep Canyon, if you came to this inquest empty-handed, we will end you. Your time with the concern will be just a memory. Well... We have the ore right here, procured by Linda there of the Miners Guild. Nani? 12 be good. She isn't lying. This is Darksteel and some of the finest I've ever seen. It's no ordinary miner who can find Darksteel, let alone stuff that looks this good. Seems your reputation is well earned. That said, we're hardly here to question your ability, though I find myself wondering as to your motives. Why did you bring the ore? Aye, I'd know the same. Why stick your neck out for him? He's given you nothing but trouble. What the seven ells are you trying to pull, Adalberta? Adalberta, whatever. I don't need anyone's pity, yours least of all. I'm not here to give you my pity, but to clear up the misunderstanding between us. Misunderstanding? Listen to me, Deep Canyon. I never wanted to become Guildmaster. The responsibility was thrust upon me, and there was naught to be done for it. God, so my name was being bandied about for the position. My first instinct was to take myself out of consideration. I spoke to the guildmaster in private, as you say, but it wasn't to connive against you, it was to give up my claim. You expect me to believe that? If I had truly betrayed you back then, would I have bothered to come here? But if that's true, then everything I've done... What, 12? To take this so far. You didn't want to admit defeat, father. Although, that friggin' name. Alberta beat you out on her own merits. You knew this in your heart, but you refused to accept it. I like how this dude has like 2 sets of glasses. In your pride, you convinced yourself that you betrayed you, but by doing so, you only validated why you were passed over for guildmaster in the first place. Please, father, let go of the past. Accept that you were beaten, as I have with Lynn, and let's start over. You have it in you to do so, Deep Canyon, to begin anew. I know of your love for mining more than anyone. If you would be willing to try again, I promise you the guild's full cooperation. Full cooperation? Are you sure about that? Or this, whatever. I would leave the past where it belongs. In the past, where it belongs. In the past. The guild wants only to look forward and to continue working with the concern. Lynn was the biggest victim in the whole affair, yet she is willing to give Deep Canyon another chance. She wouldn't have brought the Darksteel or otherwise. That's well and good, but what about you? Can you really forget everything he's done? I can. Above all else, I miss my old friend and mentor. To get him back, I would forgive much and more. Alberta. Well, I'm inclined to lay this matter to rest. Any objections, Sensei? If you're satisfied, brother, then so am I. Then it is settled. Vice Foreman Deep Canyon, by request of the Miners Guild, you shall retain your present office at Amalgina and Sons Mineral Concern. Through hard work, I trust that you will make amends for past transgressions. I'm full glad that it's over, Lynn. I would have a word with you in private. Would you mind returning to the guild with me? I asked you here so that I might thank you properly. Had you not been on hand to help, Deep Canyon's career would have ended prematurely and in disgrace. Worse, I might have lost my dear friend forever. I owe a debt that I'll likely never be able to repay. Ah, but look at you. In no time at all, you've grown into a miner who can make the earth yield up even Darksteel ore, the rarest of metals. There's nothing left for me to teach you. As an adventurer, you're like to find yourself in all corners of the realm, but wherever your road takes you, I want you to practice our craft for the good of all. Go well, Lynn, and may your toils never go unrewarded. Wahey! Oh, these are options. Oh, I see. Okay, then I'll just get the money instead. We're also gonna get ourselves a pretty decent pickaxe. Pickaxe! And this concludes this thing. At least, you know, until Heaven's Word. As we level up from that. And we get the Momo. Which is a beautifully big pickaxe. A BBP. Beautifully big pickaxe. The thing I just said can be taken out of context to the fucking next dimension. Like, Jesus. Alright, let's go and sort my inventory. I'm going to go and... What am I even running over here for? Next up, we are going to go and do the Botanist quest line. Is that like a shop somewhere? Because I would like to sell some stuff. Right. Let's go and sell all of these old pickaxes and sledgehammers, I don't care about this either. And now let's go and also sell these boys. And that's all. Right. Botanist time. Do I have the best stuff equipped that I can have? Yes. Yes. Oh, man. At least I feel slightly more awake now. If anything. I didn't even nap, honestly. I was like, let me go and just lay in my bed and we'll see how far I get. I didn't get anywhere. The end. Anyway, next one. Right. Flowers. Ah, Lynn, you couldn't have come at a more opportune time. I have a favor to ask of you. We have just received an urgent request from the Order of the Twin Adder. They asked if we supply them with 10 crow feathers as soon as possible. Crows often leave behind feathers where they perch, which can be used to make arms and armor. Requests for the items have been coming in with increasing regularity. The situation must be grim indeed. It would not do to keep the defenders of our realm, of our nation waiting. I would be most glad if you could help us fulfill this order. Crow feathers can be found in abundance in the area south of Gilbert Spire. Once you have procured 10, promptly deliver them to Sicily. I've given her charge over our stores. My thanks in advance. Right, crow feathers. Crow feathers. I don't know what I'm doing. Don't even ask what that was all about, because I have no fucking idea. If somebody asks you what's going on, I have no idea! Right. Ah, the calming music of the Shroud. Ah. Goo Lagoon. Right. And back we go to Nugget. Man, what a fucking... I think I'm still just recovering from all the shit that has happened in the last fucking month. Christ. Anyway, back to the playthrough. You helping us out again? My thanks, friend. In case you've forgotten, the crow feathers can be found there, I know. Ah, the crow feathers. You have my thanks. Doubtless you already noticed from ffXIV, but it's the Order of the Twin Adder that requested the feathers. If I heard it true, they're in the midst of preparing for war against the ffXIV. The crow feathers are needed to make arms and armor, feathered harpoons, plumed yew-crooks and the like. It's a fine feeling, being able to do our part to aid those men and women who defend our nation. But to need such a large stockpile of feathers, it gives me pause to imagine the bloodshed that lies ahead. Will the Dwellswood ever know true peace? Now, here I go again with my wistful ramblings. Feel free to ignore me. Then before I forget, ffXIV asked me to give you something in her behalf. A scythe. The scythe is what we call a secondary tool, used in your offhand. It allows you to harvest from lush vegetation, in addition to the mature trees you already know so well. That ffXIV has seen fit to make you this gift is proof positive. Wait. Is proof positive of your progress. That's a way to talk. You're no longer a novice, my friend. I dare say you're ready to try your hand at fieldcraft levies. Perhaps even take on grand company work. But first I recommend you head into the wood and find some lush vegetation to try that new scythe on. Off you go now, and come back when you're ready to take on another task for the guild. Right. Ahuil. AKA I will just literally talk to you again. I'll fucking do it again. Right. Ah, my dear Lynn, you're looking ever more a botanist. I do believe you are ready to take on further responsibilities for the guild. Guilds such as ours exist only by virtue of the cooperation of their members. Each individual must set an example for the rest, if the collective is to thrive. The time has come for you to set just such an example. A matter has arisen, the handling of which I would entrust wholly to you. You may deal with it as you see fit, providing you see the problem solved. The matter in question concerns a valued client of ours, the merchant Alpcast. It would appear one of our number has done something to upset him. Pray seek out the merchant at the Ebony Stalls and inquire after the reason for his ire. Oh, and choose your words well, lest you add fuel to the fire. You know, one thing that I kind of find really annoying about the way that I'm making my videos right now? It's the entire part where I make a video, like I get used to making videos basically, and at that point I have to stop. Because then I already have too many videos, so I need to like upload a couple of them first and then return. ffXIV sent you, did you? Good, I'm not a man to mince words, forgive me if I seem blunt. You know what marjoram is? But of course you do, you're a bleeding botanist. It's a very common ingredient in alchemy, isn't it? Very common. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't you botanists supposed to be the experts in harvesting such stuff? Yes, you are. Strange then that the expert who brought me my last batch of fresh marjoram didn't so much harvest the poor plants as dismember them. Why, the leaves were so torn up I couldn't recognize what they were at first. Needless to say, they're next to useless. So, thanks to your herb-hacking colleague, I have no marjoram to make my concoctions, which is why I inquired at your guild, only to be told you were out of supplies, and here we are. Now, if it ain't too much trouble, I would be obliged if you could bring me 10 sprigs of fresh marjoram, and I'd please like them whole, as opposed to the fine bleeding puree your bush butchering colleague delivered. Truth be told, I don't much care about your hatchet-happy friend. What I do care about is not keeping my customers waiting for their medicine. In short, hurry. And for the love of the gods, be gentle with the plants, will you? I shouldn't have to say it, but after the last bloke, I'm not taking any chances. Right, fresh marjoram. 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 Do I have this in my inventory? Nope, I don't. I harvested it at some point. And that is all. Let me also go and switch this back to my local time, because I find that more important to keep track of. More important to keep track of. What am I doing? I'm losing my mind is what I'm doing. There's too much stuff happening in my life right now. I can't deal with all this shit. Not the buffalo beans. There we go. Right. Back to herb. I was about to call him herb gas. It's like, huh, that's an interesting one. But no, it's Alpgast. Can I please? Okay. Can I please? I hate the fact that the game points me in that direction. I really wish there was like an aetheryte over here. But no. Right. Did you get the marjoram? The herb is said to grow around the matron's left, though I hardly need to tell a botanist this. Do hurry, I'm keeping a dozen customers waiting. Ah, the marjoram, and such fine specimens. I'm sorry I gave you such a hard time, friend. Thanks to you, I can get back to making echo drops. Ah, echo drops, I see. Do you know of echo drops? They are an alchemical concoction that restores a voice to silenced lips, allowing the imbiber to cast spells again. Contours and thaumaturges never leave home without a bottle of three. But I must say again, these are some of the finest specimens of marjoram I've seen, and they're none the worse for the picking. It's clear you know your way around the plant. As for your colleague with a heavy hand, I'm certain your guild will deal with him appropriately. Thanks again, and send my regards to ffXIV. And then, oh jeez, fucking Christ. Wow, that was a weird experience that I haven't had in a while. I was just... that was so funny. Oh my god. I was just like, kind of zoning out, and then at some point, like, my head goes to the left, and I'm like, whoa. I'm not tired, you're tired. Ah, there you are. Thank you for a job well done. There's no need to report the details. I have already heard all I need to know. It is my belief that the botanist in question had not but personal gain in mind when he so hurriedly harvested the marjoram. In his haste to complete the task and claim its reward, he damaged the herbs and rendered them useless. Such greed brings shame on our guild, and I will not tolerate it. The offender's name shall be struck from our roll. As I taught you when you first came to us, a botanist nurtures their natural environment to the mutual benefit of man and wood. He who thinks only of his own benefit has no respect for nature and is unfit to call himself one of us. Of course, you hardly need reminding of this. Something tells me you shall never give me cause to worry. But let us speak of cheerier matters. Tell me, did gathering the marjoram pose you any trouble? If you ever find your work unduly onerous, you might consider outfitting yourself with better gear. Even something as seemingly insignificant as a new pair of boots can make a world of difference. As you gain in knowledge and experience, you will find yourself venturing farther afield in search of new bounty, and your choice of equipment will become ever more critical. Go now, Lynn, and keep up your efforts. I look forward to seeing you continue to grow as a botanist. Right, and then we get the gear tutorial. And we get a quest completo. Right. Good day, Lane. I see from the soil on your hands that you have been as diligent as ever in your botany. I'm not surprised. As we develop new skills, so do our labors become more varied, and thus, that's a weight, our motivation grow. Yet know that motivation can only take one so far. If you wish to master botany, you must pay heed to those details which you have until now taken for granted. In particular, I speak of gear. The tools of our trade. Not all tools are created equal, you see. Why am I having hiccups? And if you are to work with any degree of efficiency, you must use such gear as befits your ability. Lest you misunderstand, I'm not telling you to go and replace your gear. There's a more frugal way to improve your tools, and one more respectful to nature besides. Tell me, have you heard of materia? It is a kind of crystal that can be used to enhance the efficacy, I actually know how to say that word, efficacy of gear. In the past, the enhancement process required certain catalysts found throughout nature, the gathering of which was our domain. But new methods have rendered them obsolete. Be it as it may, these substances still make for ideal subjects of training for budding botanists such as yourself. Therefore, for your next task, I would like you to gather a quantity of one such catalyst, namely Grade 1 carbonized matter. 15 fragments should suffice. A thorough search of the area surrounding Aleport will surely prove fruitful. The hamlet lies in western Lanoche, upon the island of Vilbrand. Once you have gathered the requisite amount, pray present the carbonized matter to Sanray. He will teach you the basics of materia. This. Get a load of this. Tartars, reveal yourself! That's where I got the get a load of this from. Well, that in combination with also Eggman saying it, I think. Was it Sonic Adventure 1? Just like, get a load of this! Let me go and get one of these going, so I can just gather more. Feed me more. Feed me more of that juicy carbonized matter. Sure. Right. I did not mean to auto-gather. Oh well. I'm hungry. It's a good thing that this is the final quest I'm doing in this episode. So I can go and get a snack. Right. Hello. Since Fusha has high hopes for you, very well. Let us speak of materia. The art of crafting with materia is yet new to Eorzea. It was born to our shores by a goblin scholar named Mutamix some few years back. Or ago, whatever, means to say. Put simply, the process begins with extracting materia from old gear. This is then attached to another piece of gear, enhancing the item's properties. Mind you, it's not as if any half-wit can do the attaching. No, it takes a skilled craftsman with the necessary knowledge and experience. And once, the process also requires substances known as catalysts. The carbonized matter you've gathered is one such substance. But then they discovered a way to attach materia without the stuff, and we botanists are a little more idle for it, such is the way of progress. And that, my friend, is materia in brief. Now, I'd thank you not to ask me about the workings of it. That sort of scholarly stuff is beyond my fathoming. Jeez. If you wish to know more, perhaps even try your hand at crafting with materia. I suggest you seek out the goblin Mutamix. It's said he has his camp at a place called the Bonfire out in the wilds of Central Thailand. Oh, and keep in mind that materia comes in a great many varieties, each granting unique benefits to the gear it's attached to. I dare say you'll lose count of all the kinds you come across on your adventure. Well, not really, I know all of them. Anyway, if I were you, I'd try to find a craftsman who would be willing to attach materia for me. Chances are there's a person among your list of acquaintances. Acquaintances? Yeah. Not necessary. At the moment, materia is not... Like, materia is good. Like, if you're doing really difficult content, you should have materia. Or really difficult crafts or gathers or whatever. But at this point, you really don't need it. At least for the moment. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this episode of just how I was playing Final Fantasy XIV. And next episode, after I yawn, we're going to continue the Botanist questline and maybe start the fishing one depending on how it goes. Goodbye.